Things are not looking good for Chidimma Adetshina, as her mother has been accused of fraud and identity theft. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back to the Here For It channel. Yes, you heard me right. Here For It channel. On this channel, we give you commentary on pop culture, trending topics, latest news, TV shows, and so much more. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support this channel so I may continue to give you this amazing content. Now let's get straight into today's topic because a lot is going on. Kuningi. Now last night, Home Affairs released a statement like Mr. Jazik. Apparently, the Department of Home Affairs has found prima facie evidence that Miss SA contestant Chidimma Adetshina's mother may have committed fraud. When I tell you that the plot is thick, just know it's thicker than Tebokotobejani, honey. You get me? Anywho, she has been trending for so long. I think she's been trending for over a month, and mainly because there's a lot of controversy surrounding her heritage. South Africans believe she's not the correct representative on the Miss SA 2024 pageantry.
Following the original request received from the organisers of Miss South Africa, preliminary investigations by the Department of Home Affairs has released a statement to say that an investigation has found that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. The investigation came at the request of the organisers of the upcoming Miss SA contest, in which Chidimma is a contestant.
There you have it, the statement released by Home Affairs. Now, I'm not going to read the whole entire statement. It was released yesterday on the 7th of August. And basically, in summary, it's saying the Department of Home Affairs herewith provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the citizenship of Chidimma Adetshina, a contestant in the upcoming Miss SA event. The investigation is that its scope has broadened since the original request received from organizers of Miss SA based on information uncovered by Home Affairs. Now, they also continue to say that there has been a formal official request from Miss SA, Miss Chidimma and her mother to put this whole situation to rest, hence they started this investigation. So basically the information that they have uncovered thus far is as follows. They're saying that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. Honey. Yeah, they also say that Chidimma couldn't have been aware of this as she was an infant, and that there's an innocent South African mother whose identity may have been stolen as part of an alleged fraud. They continue to say they were going to pursue and identify officials involved in this fraudulent scheme, and that Home Affairs intends to press criminal charges against all implicated parties. So this is a lot. The plot has thickened, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, I want us to listen to the voiceover of Minister Leon Schreiber commenting on this whole entire situation.
An ongoing investigation by Home Affairs has found prima facie indications of fraud committed by Chidimma Adetshina's mother. The Department of Home Affairs herewith provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the citizenship of Miss Chidimma Adetshina, a contestant in the upcoming Miss SA event. The reason for the ongoing nature of the investigation is that its scope has broadened since the original request received from the organizers of Miss SA based on the information uncovered by Home Affairs investigators thus far. The department nonetheless provides this update to the public based on that official request and consent. We will provide a final update once the investigation is concluded. Upon receiving the request for investigation, the department deployed every resource at its disposal to establish the truth. This has included archival research, visits to hospitals, and site visits to verify information. From the information we have uncovered thus far, the Department of Home Affairs can indicate that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. Adetshina herself could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother, as she was an infant at the time when the activities took place in 2001. An innocent South African mother, whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud, suffered as a result because she could not register her child. The department has broadened its investigation to identify and pursue any officials involved in the alleged scheme and is obtaining legal advice on the implications of the alleged fraudulent activity on Adetshina's citizenship status. And finally, upon the completion of the investigation, Home Affairs intends to press criminal charges and convict all implicated parties. This case, which stems from alleged fraudulent activities committed 23 years ago, highlights the urgent need for the digital modernization of Home Affairs applications, adjudication, and verification processes to insulate the department against fraudulent interference, similar to the reforms undertaken at the South African Revenue Service in the late 2000s. The case also highlights the reason for the department's blocking of certain duplicate IDs, and that the court-ordered unblocking of these documents must be handled with caution. Throughout this process, Home Affairs is guided by our commitment to both restoring and upholding the rule of law as well as the rights of all parties.
Now, I think it's important for us to just clear up how you become a South African citizen by birth. Now, before the 6th of October 1995, anyone born in South Africa was considered a citizen just by being born on the land, on the soil. But after the 6th of October 1995, one of your parents need to be an official South African citizen or a permanent resident. And it seems a lot of people on social media was as confused as I was, because Philimpela says, Mara, why would you go through all these things when you know there's fraud? Why not pull out the moment there's a red flag? Why didn't Chidimma Adetshina ask her mom when this first broke if she didn't know? All of this was so unnecessary. And I have to agree. Why didn't the mother, just tell her daughter, my baby, just leave this? I'll explain why. Anywho, I just want to give you a background on who Chidimma Adetshina is. She is Chidimma Vanessa Onwe Adetshina. She's a 23-year-old. She was born in South Africa from a Nigerian father and Mozambican mother. She plays netball and she is a model and also a mother of one. Now, the reason why her mother is questioned is because she's the one that was said to be a South African citizen. So a lot of people were calling into question for Home Affairs to investigate if she really is a citizen, because if her mother is a citizen, then Chidimma is a citizen. Now, let's read some of the tweets people posted on X. One person said, Nigerians see their brothers every Sunday on Sizoktola selling drugs and destroying communities. And here they are on X acting like they don't know why South Africans hate them so much. Is it ignorance or disregard? Another user says, we are just saying we don't want you to represent us. Simple as that. Another one says, this woman is not South African at official Miss SA. You are an appalling organization for allowing foreigners to participate in Miss South Africa. No South African would participate in Miss Nigeria. And then Chris Excel said, South African ladies are supporting that Nigerian Miss SA because they know their children are also half Nigerian. They think we don't see them. Honey, it's a lot. So people were saying a lot, and some of the things they were saying were very controversial. Some of them were careless, but some of them showed important, aspects or problems that South Africans have with, illegal immigrants. Now, another thing they brought to light was that her TikTok previously had a Mozambican and Nigerian flag, but there was no South African flag, calling further into question whether she's proudly South African and whether she's eligible to represent us in Miss South Africa. Now, another strong conversation was this issue of identity theft by illegal immigrants in the country, and how Home Affairs is so incompetent when it comes to these things, and how these identity thefts affect South Africans. I want us to watch a clip of a man struggling with identity theft since 2010.
The guy that you've been speaking to from 2010 with regarding my ID document, how far are you with the story?
He says he's been left in limbo, waiting nearly 4 years for a new ID that he says has been issued 6 times.
No, Mama,
but
I can't
not to
explain
him.
it because you only
Raymond
explained
Ayasi is the
it
victim of
after I
identity
told
theft.
you that
His
I'm
ID
going to
was
take the
fraudulently
letter to
issued
its
6
review.
times since 2011. And now there's a series of fraud and drug-related charges against his name.
When I spoke to the guy in Home Affairs, he then punched my ID number, and then he showed me on the screen where all these issues have been taking place, with the phone numbers of the person that have collected the ID.
Unemployed and unable to secure work due to the criminal charges, Jayasi says his rights as a South African have been grossly violated. He says he's given up hope.
The police are aware of this case. The Home Affairs is aware of this case. Look at the period from 2010 till this time. I haven't received the ID. On those bases, I've lost faith.
An online check on the Home Affairs website has shown that there are no duplication using Raymond's identity number. And another check as to the status of his application for a new ID document has shown that the documents are at the Pretoria head office awaiting processing. But this is not the case. Raymond's ID has been issued 6 times, and he's been told that he won't be issued with a new document until Home Affairs have conducted their own investigation into the matter. Numerous attempts to contact Home Affairs officials in Cape Town were unsuccessful. Adetshina, Cape Town.
Now, once the statement came out, people on X didn't waste time. They proceeded to drag everyone that was, standing up for Chidimma and caping for her, like Pearl Tusi, Lerato Kganyago, DJ's Boo, EFF, and so on. These are just examples of what they said. Now I want us to head on over and listen to what their views were before this broke out.
Guys, there are people in my DMs being like, we have whites in South Africa, not Nigerians. So you guys are willing to accept white people, no disrespect to white people, low-key. But someone who is half Nigerian, half Mozambican, but like natural South African can't be accepted. Okay, xenophobia. Like, if it's true that Helen Zilla's parents are both not South African, but here she is serving you mayoral duties of the, the United State of Cape Town. Okay, nice, but boring. So the actual problem here is that it's Nigerian, or even if it was Ghanaian. The problem, if it was a white person whose mother was French and her dad was Spanish. And lastly, shame on anybody and everybody who is using this girl taking an opportunity as someone who has a South African ID, surely, using this as a way for you to continue your agenda against foreign or illegal foreign nationals who are in South Africa, and using that to kind of continue that conversation. Like, this girl has nothing to do with that. Like, she really doesn't. So you don't have to bring that chat. You don't have to confuse those chats or make her a part of that chat. Like, it's so unnecessary.
Black on black woman hate, I will still say we have a problem with Nigerians. Yes, you have a problem with Nigerians. No one is stopping you. But also, we cannot ignore the fact that she would not be here if she was illegal. In terms of, she's got the paperwork, she was born here, she qualified.
It is exactly that. I spoke about it on radio yesterday. I said South Africans have found it easier to attack black women because we are weaker. We are seen as weaker. But also people that contribute is black women themselves. Number one, I spoke about the fact that I wouldn't be part of an organization that is dishonest. There was proper vetting that was done, proper research was done, proper documentation were received. She is South African. Do you understand? I understand where people's frustrations are coming on. But now my opinion, and I said, because I don't want to go into depth about this, my opinion is based on facts, factual, things that I have gone and seen for myself, investigations that I've done, because also my reputation could be on the line if it's not true, right? Now, I am putting my head on the table and basing whatever that's happening on facts and not gossip and narrative that's been put out on social media, right? And it's just so sad how the snowball effect, how people literally every week come up with something from her mom is not this, her mom is this and that, and people are running with it. But it shows you that South Africans don't have the time or the resources or the capacity to actually, or to, the effort to make a research. I promise you, 90% of the people that are saying all these things are picking it stompies up from other people and not on facts. Miss South Africa has released a statement that all the necessary requirements were met. The reason why I was chosen as a judge, because Fred, I'm very opinionated and I stand for something. I'm not someone who's going to sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want controversy around me. No, I stand for something. I speak my mind. I've spoken to the organization. We've said the things that we have to say, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I understand where everyone else is coming from, the frustration, I respect it. But why is it easier to attack a black woman? There was a couple of Miss South Africas not so long ago. One was Portuguese. There's others that I'm not going to mention that were half this, half that. But the
There's a
same
Chinese.
energy, the same energy was not used. The same energy.
Hey, sometimes you just need to wait for things to play out, because listen to how they were so confident. Anyway, the people that they were referring to, one of them is Sherry Wang, who is ethnically not, South African. And she has entered Miss SA at least 3 times, and she didn't get as much backlash as Chidimma. And another person being Vanessa Carreira, who was Miss South Africa in 2001, and her parents are Angolan and Portuguese, and she didn't get any backlash. But the thing is that people are now waking up and starting to realize the injustices. I think, people are just now realizing the severity of what's happening, and they're trying to take control. But to be honest, some of the things the South African celebrities were saying are true, because it seems as if her reaction is more exaggerated. And this has been happening for a while, It's, it's something that we need to just point out, that is it because she's black, or is it because she has Nigerian heritage? Why is there an exaggerated, thing? But another thing that we need to realize is that the conversation is more about the law, the South African law surrounding citizenship. Let's listen to other perspectives of normal South Africans.
I think we should ban middle-class people from ever speaking on issues that impact poor black South Africans, because they will always come from a privileged perspective. When it comes to the xenophobia conversation, this conversation lacks a lot of nuance. It also seeks to paint all black South Africans as irrational and violent people. That's why a lot of the time when people come and visit South Africa, they're like, oh, I thought they were gonna attack me because I'm not from here. And the question still remains, if South Africa was as hostile as a country as the media and other people are saying it is, mind you, people that don't even live here or have never stepped foot here, why is it that we have the highest population of immigrants in Africa? Secondly, the idea that poor black South Africans should stop complaining about issues that plague them on a daily basis and rather focus on securing the land or some grand ideology that may or may not come true within their lifetime is also ridiculous. Because if I live in Katlehong, or I live in Kwatema, or I live in Soweto, and I'm trying to make a living for myself by running a spaza shop, and the people that you call my brothers and sisters are harming me and threatening to take my life because I'm running a business within my township, which is my right, are you telling me that it's so absurd that I would develop animosity towards these people that have come from a different country into mine to make my life harder? Don't get me started on the fact that these paza shops are said to be raising funds for certain dangerous groups. They are also selling poisonous food to the black population in South African townships.
Hello. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents about the whole Miss South Africa conversation that's happening right now. And from what I've been reading and watching and everything that's been happening around this whole conversation, I just feel like it's important to highlight a few things. One, we must not be silenced into believing that if you raise issues that are making us unhappy or uncomfortable in South Africa, it's because we self-hate or because we hate Africa or whatever the case might be. Because all throughout Africa, there are many different countries in Africa. But I don't remember even one of them being made to believe that they have to accept every single thing from every single person who's not even South African in order for them to feel like they are black enough or African enough. Other countries can enforce their laws and make sure people abide by them even chasing out people who are not in their countries legally, or walking around and being asked to produce your IDs. For those who've traveled, you'll know that in other African countries, you don't just walk around in jail just by you being black and being African, and you think you have free will to do as you please. It doesn't work like that in a lot of African countries. But our country, unfortunately, has opened us up to a lot of vulnerability, because we are made to believe that anything that we say that is for the country, and that is how we as citizens are concerned about our own country, it's because we're xenophobic, or we're Afrophobic, or
In as much as, Chidimma was a sacrificial lamb in this case, and all of these issues were brought up, unfortunately, the first time with her, and it had a very visceral reaction. And, people were following it through because she's been trending for more than a month now because of this. And like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's something that had to be brought up. I mean, in my opinion, I was waiting for this whole situation to play out before I commented on it, because I felt like I wanted to see the full view. I wanted to hear everyone's opinion, from, the negatives being that, there are illegal immigrants, people come to South Africa willy-nilly, people don't respect South African laws, so on and so forth. And the other ones being that, there are elements of black on black hate, the fact that, some South Africans are xenophobic, the fact that South Africans don't like Nigerians. Like, these are things that had to be touched on and discussed once and for all. And I said this earlier on, but I think this conversation is more about the law. Like, what does it mean legally to be a South African citizen? But like I said, I really wanted a full view of the situation, and, they have not concluded their investigation. So before I make a very stern opinion, I would like to let it play out, and I will comment my true feeling about this whole entire situation. But it has been very interesting and very educational. Please don't forget to drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like and notification bell. Until my next video, bye.